Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support as always. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Apologies if this sounds low. I've got the thing cranked up, but I'm losing my voice. So there you go. But I wanted to get out. DeWanna Bonner drama. DeWanna Bonner drama is, well, it's not over, but at least we got something. As you can see here, DeWanna Bonner has no interest in returning to play for the Fever. Now, with a grain of salt, this is a Chicago Sky reporter, so but it makes sense. I mean, I think that's one of the things we all speculated, and of course, preferred landing spots Mercury and Dream. I think the Dream was just put in there to not make it look so obvious and bad that she misses Alyssa Thomas, and that's where she wants to crawl back to. But yeah, this is unprofessional, childish, stupid. I mean, you're talking about how do you go through an entire offseason as a free agent to decide where you want to go, and a few games into the season you just you quit. I mean, that's what she did. DeWanna Bonner is a quitter, and this should forever tarnish her legacy. Not that that matters with the WNBA, because if the league lasts long enough, and if Caitlin Clark sticks around and they make positive changes, there no one's going to pay attention to before Caitlin Clark, right? I know I'm being a little harsh, but you know what? Sometimes it's deserved. And a lot of people not thrilled. This was handled incredibly poorly. There's no way this should have been done. To let her leave like that and just walk out with no explanation, no talking to the press, having cover from the likes of Stephanie White and talking about personal reasons, and she's doing okay and all this other nonsense. And you've got, well, to be fair, you got some people who are like, enough's enough. We need to know what's going on. And that may have been what triggered this. But you also had a lot of people who were like, oh, the poor thing. She might have all these horrible things happening and family health issues and all this other stuff because they want to give her the benefit of the doubt. But I think we figured out that WNBA players, well, very, very few WNBA players should get the benefit of the doubt. Now, this makes it very difficult for the Indiana Fever as well when you get a player that does this. And this is not just Bonner, or this is not just the WNBA. I've seen this in plenty of sports. When you have a player that is unhappy, Jimmy Butler just pulled this crap in the NBA, and you're like, oh, I want to leave. I'm not happy here. I'm demanding a trade, and these are the places, especially when you add in these are the places I want to go. The Dream and the Mercury, if they even have any interest in DeWanna Bonner, and I don't know why either one would at this point, right? I don't know why either team would want to add her, but you've taken away all leverage from the Indiana Fever. Now, if a team, I mean, I actually think that the Indiana Fever, if they could, and I don't know that a team would do this, but they'd actually be better off even just getting a throwaway draft pick, like a second rounder in 27 or 28 or something, because that would at least free up all of that money, right? They may actually be able to get 12 players instead of the 11 and basically the 10 they've been playing with, and quality players, right? They could go grab someone from Europe. In fact, it's not even going to be out tomorrow. I just did a long video based on one of the 19 sent me about, hey, they were frustrated with the situation and what's going on with the Fever. And I was like, well, if I was in charge, here's what I would do to turn the season around. And one of the things I talked about was something the Fever completely skipped, and that's looking overseas for talent. There is actually a lot of talent out there that is not signed. I think people, when I talked about Grace Berger, Celeste Taylor, I think people finally started to see that when the Fever signed Erin McDonald, and she did well because, right, Erin McDonald's not signed right now. Maybe she's waiting for the Fever, but even so, she was not signed before the Fever signed her during the season. So yes, there's a lot of talent out there. The WNBA protects their vets, protects certain types of players, and they're also terrible at scouting. The Fever never even looked overseas, so we've got issues like that. But we're very limited now. If this is really what it comes down to, where she says these are the places I'm going to play, I would if the other teams are willing to take her, like if they're willing to say, hey, we can let somebody go and we've got the cap space and we'll bring them, I'd give her away for nothing just to free up the money. But if you're looking at the Fever, and I mean the Mercury, and again, I wouldn't do this if I were the Mercury, but really, if you're looking at anything, you're looking at, well, we could trade her for Alyssa Thomas. That would be another forward. But you've got Catherine Westfeld is a possibility. But That's a rookie, but 6.5 points, 3.3 rebounds as a 6'3" forward as a rookie is not bad, and I think she can run. Musa would be another. I'm sorry, not Musa. I meant Brown. Kalani Brown is a 6'7" center. It would be nice to have a backup for AB, and she's not old either. And then the other possibility really would be Natasha Mack, 6'4" forward center, 3 points, 4.4 rebounds per game, only 2 years, right? These are also younger players that hopefully can move a little better than Bonner did, but obviously options are very, very limited, very limited. And then you have the Atlanta Dream, and same thing here. If you're looking to get, because the Fever already are undersized. And again, I think there's a lot of ways for the Fever to actually take advantage of that to where it's a positive, not a negative. But if you're looking at getting someone at Bonner's height and her length and the rebounding and stuff that she can provide and being able to guard bigger players, and you want to get something similar, you're very limited. I mean, here you've got, and they would never do it, but if Brianna Jones, that would be my choice. But of course, the Atlanta Dream would never, ever, ever do that. And Brittany Griner, they're really the only two options. So that's where you're talking about draft picks. And again, I would have to look a little more deeply. I don't know the Atlanta Dream's cap situation or the Mercury's, but that is something that we would have to look into as well. And then if we go and look, but when you look at this, right, we'll pull this up right now. Why would you why would you make a trade? Phoenix Mercury are 11-4. The Atlanta Dream, folks, were awful last year. 10-4. 8-2 in their last 10, right? So they started 2-2, now they're 8-2. If you were the Phoenix Mercury, if you were the Atlanta Dream, why on earth would you trade for a washed up DeWanna Bonner? And she is. We saw that in the limited amount she played. And here's the other thing I'll add to this, because it's coming. This is going to be made about Caitlin Clark, right? And hey, look, DeWanna Bonner with her situation with Alyssa Thomas, she may very well play into it too, because she won't have the courage to stand up. But this is not about Caitlin Clark. I think it's one, she misses Alyssa Thomas, you know, and two, I think she's has a much more reduced role than she expected to have with the Indiana Fever, right? She's coming off the bench. She's not playing a ton. Um, let's see if we can do this real quick. If we go and check, I mean, I know she's not playing a lot of minutes. Um, right, but let's go to what is it was 2025, 21.3 minutes per game from, you know, the last one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Basically, the last 12, 14 seasons, other than one that's at 29.2, she's played 30 minutes or more per game. So now coming off the bench at 21 and averaging 7 points a game when she's a career score of 14.8. She takes 12 shots per game, and for her entire career, she's only taken six. I think this is just DeWanna Bonner not giving it a chance, getting up into her emotions, playing a few games, and being like, no, I want out. This isn't what I expected it to be. I figured I would be a starter. I would be playing, the 30 minutes I was playing last year, and I want to do that. And I miss Alyssa Thomas. And so send me to Phoenix. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. So I just wanted to roll through that because you could see very, very limited in terms of their options. It really comes down to, does Phoenix or Atlanta want to do the Fever a favor? And with Phoenix, it might be if Alyssa, depending on the Alyssa Thomas thing, but there really isn't anyone. If I were the Dream or the Mercury and I look at my team and I look at how I'm playing, I don't really see anybody that I want to give up to get DeWanna Bonner. So if I'm like, yeah, well, I'll take her because she's available, then you're looking probably at a draft pick that's not going to matter. But again, for me, just being able to unload DeWanna Bonner to another team to free up the cap space is a win, folks. Okay, so look at it as a win. Forget about the crap you're going to hear about Caitlin Clark and all that nonsense. Getting rid of DeWanna Bonner and freeing up the money is an absolute win. So I'm going to leave it there. I don't think this surprises anyone. I'm glad that we actually have it out so we can get this over with and move beyond it and start trying to turn around this season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, appreciate you checking out this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve. Enjoy the game tonight. Now we'll talk to you later.